Today is August 3rd, 2026. See, where I mentioned before, with Agent John, that Pete guy that he made fun of me on a recorded line, okay? Finding out he's that Henry Mobby, he is his girlfriend's dad. He knew I didn't know who he was, absolutely. And that he's also the fake dirty doctor from before. He knew the whole thing was a scam. The recorded line. Well, he's mocking me. He knew I didn't know who he was. He knew that. And that's where they're telling people Agent John's allowing his girlfriend's dad to break in people's homes, set up on cameras, then break in and do things to them. Do you know that's automatic termination? It's right of privacy. And he can't be part of that. Does he know they're not admissible because of the Fourth Amendment? Yep. His girlfriend's dad and a bunch of drug dealers cannot go around breaking in people's homes running drug scams on them. He can't be part of it. But on a recorded line, him making fun of me for that Pete guy and a dirty doctor I never heard of, find out they're the same person and it's his prostitute girlfriend's dad running a drug scam on him. That Will guy they announced May 9th, 26th by the Register and Myers and Alliance that his credentials aren't real. He is no attorney. Why I didn't think he was. He doesn't know one law. And where they have said it was Agent John's girlfriend's threat to drug dealers, he's probably the drug dealer. And that's where he may be like a big person in a strip club or an owner. That's where all the strippers and prostitutes are showing up. Probably work for him. And Michelle he dates, that he has to pay to date, that they said is a prostitute, July 5th, 26. Okay? Is Katie from Dave's old church family member. That's why all the church people helped out. Start putting it into a circle who's all involved. And then you got to think where they, even on July 30th, 26th in the Wellness Grove on Fulton and Drive on in North Canton. My grandson's in there for counseling. And some of those girls come in, you can pick them out in the crowd because normal people don't dress like that. And I go to use the bathroom, I could hear her out in the hall. My dad's been paying for all this. We're teaching her a lesson. Her family will not back the tapes before. They must be embarrassed. And goes on about the shower scene in the other room. I guess she hasn't talked to Agent John's girlfriend. She already confessed in front of the cops that the drug dealers they hired to do it photoshopped washing in the shower in the other room. They also admitted years ago, your drug man told me to say it before we see drugs. 18. And she said Agent John's allowing his girlfriend's dad to break in people's homes, set up on cameras watching them, and break in and do things to him. That's automatic termination. 5 to 20 years without the drugs being rape. He can't be an accessory to that. But it shows he's part of this whole fraud scheme. And that's why he went around telling people he didn't care I was being drugged, being raped, because some idiot called me a faker 15 years before. And then you got to think where that family and those church people were saying, oh, it offended us what that minister said about her 15 years ago. 15 years. They sound like loons. I mean, complete loons. They admitted March 27, 25 to another FBI agent that they were all lying when they were in that office. Okay? All. That it never found them at all. They were helping out for these people to get away with it. Why? Because it's one of their church people's family member that's in debt to a drug dealer. So they were all in there lying. Get the idea? So, Agent John, with that being your girlfriend's dad doing it, your girlfriend's hiring drug dealers to run a drug scam on somebody, did you help hire those drug dealers? It doesn't go that far into the corruption. Did you set up the whole scam with them of drugging me up and telling me to say it before we see drugs? Hypnotic drugs and told us it? Did you set up the photoshopping and washing so they'd scare me into calling the hotline so you could grab it to open it up to cause a fraud case? So you could steal from the FBI for your girlfriend? That's why you bullied me on the recorded line. And did you have all those church people in your office? Knew they were trying to kill me, mocking me. Recorded line is damning. Evidence you're part of it. 19 people had said that you were part of setting it up around me. And people said you don't want to say that. Those people were drug beating, raping her. Those people were drugging her and telling her to say it before and did that shower scene in the other room. They photoshopped everything. That means he was part of the whole con and the whole setup. So did you have, since it's Katie's family member you're dating, did you have her make up the lie that I was mean or threatened her and hadn't talked to her in 7 years? Only said hi? So they could start off a religious heresy scam and then have that family, those church people, say they were offended because some idiot called me a faker when it was medical malpractice, medication errors, and documented fraud that almost killed me. Took me 9 months to get well. So you tell them to lie to set off a religious heresy. Because being an FBI agent, you would have been able to see my medical records. And in 2002, it would have been documented and verified by doctors that everything but my muscles locking up after those surgeries was documented fraud, medical malpractice, and medication errors. You would also have been able to see that I reported identity theft as far as someone using my insurance, running out bills, disputed several. And I froze my credit several times because there was things on my credit report that weren't mine. So you knew somebody was using my ID. So you would know that being a federal agent, right? Yeah. And you would have been able to see that it took me almost a year to get well. 9 months, 9 to 10 months. And you would have seen that I had heart attacks, seizures, thyroid, adrenal gland shutdown, and massive body swelling. And you would have known I had degenerative joint disease and the fluid was pushing my knees out while I was all swelled up. You would have known that. Yeah. And we're going to put it this way. You going down to the Tuscarawas County Courthouse and tell them there was no one around me, where even the Maslin police in uniform, we all been playing that little guy. Okay. For him to bring all his connections down here. See, that's where the sheriffs thought what you were doing. And see, that's where, I don't know if they only thought they'd get 50 or 100 out of them. Instead, they got thousands and they got outnumbered. and people were being taken by those human traffickers. And then they had it where they were playing that sick game of who paid for the harassment. And they got surveillance of, with my case on Judge Peters' group from Florida, that they were the ones in my house before, and they were the ones doing it before the drug dealers I hired. They also would have where we all work for the king from Texas. We are his men. Dave hired us. He's a drug lord. And the king sent his men to take care of this. He's a fentanyl dealer. They're all after. They would have had the California, the Buffalo, New York, Michigan, Georgia. And then they would have drug dealers from North and South Carolina, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, and Kentucky helped out. Thousands went to jail and hundreds were saved because of my case. My case was part of the nationwide human trafficking scam. Like they said, they had a chance to get surveillance on the cartel, and they went for it. It was a way into the cartel, watching them run a scam and harm somebody and then get surveillance on them and where they were going and find people. They took it. So when you went down to that courthouse, September 10th, 25, Tuscarawas County Courthouse, you lied to Judge Lori. In the prosecutor's office, there was no one around me. I had thousands. In 19, I had so much cartel around me. People used to say Karen causes a traffic jam. Everywhere she goes, I had a mile or two front back. I was being encased. Where Dave on several videos complains about all the men around me. The U.S. Marshals got 801 sweep. Announced herself January 20th, 23. They'd be taking care of it. And that they would be getting them by February 14th, 23. Did 800. Maddie's found on the police department knew my case in the Texas group 2 hours away. The FBI got Judge Peters out of Florida, 100 men, and then all those other cartels, and rescued hundreds of people and thousands went to jail. Across the nation, we became part of the countrywide human trafficking scam. If it wasn't for my case, when all those drug dealers showed up here, they would have surveillance on those people that they could use and just go get them. And you lying, thinking that they'll throw it out. You can say all you want with that. The only way my case can get thrown out is you defrauded me, where the drug dealers have been bragging. He didn't pay her. He defrauded her. He told on her. He bullied her on a recorder line. Mitty told on her. Made fun of her, made her beg for life, then listed her for money immunity. Then he doesn't have the authority to ask anybody to stay quiet. It's the First Amendment. And he was only bullying her, and then he took her money. He was defrauding her. That's where the drug dealers been laughing for years. They're going to get it thrown out. And they started last year. See, I talked to my friend from the prosecutor's office, and he used to work at the Stark County. If the FBI does not pay you, it can get thrown out for him defrauding you. All informants get paid. That agent was only bullying you. All the police know that. Sheriffs have even said it. They knew it was blackmail, and they couldn't enter it. What is a jail sentence for an FBI agent if he tells an informant if they say something they won't get their money? 20 to life. It's blackmail, extortion out of the government, a crime against the U.S. government, tampering with a witness, and obstruction to justice. Then he's already told everyone. Even told people he knew I was being drugged, being raped, and didn't care before the case started. Well, why didn't he care? It was his girlfriend's father running a drug scam on me. And that Will guy where they announced May 9th, 26 by the Register and Myers and Alliance, he's not an attorney. He's just one of the guys Dave hired on his own, and maybe one of his girlfriend's dad. He's probably an owner of a strip club for all these strip clubs showing up. Or a big human trafficker. Okay. Like an investigator that showed up March 20th, 26th, that another FBI agent had got out of that family. They were all lying to the FBI in Walmart, West Husk. Announced it by the electronics. June 3rd, 26th, down in the Bell store in Magnolia, they got a hold of him. Said Melissa has documented me in games of pretend, her and her kids, and that I had never hurt anyone. And it was the human traffickers in my home before. And it's just a drug scam from them, the whole thing. Maslin police already told people that they were documenting in games of pretend in 21. Stark County sheriffs admitted they knew they were lying, and then other places have looked her up, and she has documented me games of pretend. She has been working with the cartel since 18. Told you how the cartel ratted them out. In 18, when I guess Dave must have got really rude with them, they showed up and told on him and Melissa in front of the cops and feds in 18 how they had this plan out months before for him and her to get everything in the divorce. It was set up that they decided that she'd be the more appropriate parent and that I wouldn't be able to help John when she goes for custody. That they had used the drugs on me when they drugged me and told me to say it before Dave was involved in the house, and that I had no memory of what those people did to me before. And it's a shame that they didn't have a drug to erase my memory now. And that Dave wanted them to take me out and kill me. Why would we kill a good woman if we could sell her? The cops have that. An investigator showed up a week ago Thursday and announced, trust me, nobody would ever say a word to you. These people admitted that they drugged you and told you to say it before. And Dave was involved in the house. 18. They brought it back in 21 again too and told on everyone. In 19 in Louisville, they were acting like Dave and Melissa were a couple. And to the point, when I was alone, I know the officers that watch me can hear me. It's like, did John know his wife was cheating on him with his father? That's sick. They were married. But they had, and that's where Myers and Alliance, July 22nd, 26, people walk around. We all heard those people admit that Melissa was part of having you drugged and told to say it before. She didn't want a person like you help them raise her kids. She wanted to make sure that she got custody of them. And you couldn't help John in the divorce. Nobody would say a word to you. People were talking in Bob Evans that day in Alliance too about that. And about July 8th, 26th, they said it was that Will guy screaming in Walmart Alliance in the back that he was the one that put me through complete horror. His kid was confessing to Wellness Grove on Fulton Drive in North Canton on July 30th, 26th, when my grandson was having counseling. I went to use the bathroom. I could hear her clear out in the hallway. How her dad's paid for all this. And they're going to make sure they teach me a lesson for their drug scam. Yeah, it's that pathetic. Her family will not verify the tapes before. Well, there's drug scam, idiot. Agent John's allowing his girlfriend's dad to break in people's homes, set up body cameras, watch him, and break in and do things to him. Well, he just bought himself a long time in jail. Yeah. And that Will guy is a drug dealer, if not a human trafficker. Like Judge Peters' group said, it was them in my home before. Told Faith Family Church in front of the cops and vets in 18. I mean, January, March of 19, that it was them. June 26, 26, Dutch Valley Restaurant in Sugar Creek. Agent John's girlfriend comes in. She can't see him in a booth with a half a wall and confessing and laughing how her family's stealing everything for her. The drug dealers they hired to do this to me photoshopped washing in the shower in the other room to make me look weird with myself, to make fun of me, and cackling, and how they picked me out personally to do this to me so they could steal for her. And like the Starr County Sheriff said, July 5th, 26, that girl laughing in the restaurant, they're stealing everything for her, is that agent's girlfriend that he has to pay to date him. We thought he was acting that way till he showed up at the courthouse trying to get the surveillance thrown out. Now we realize he actually is with him. He may have been part of setting up the whole scam to steal from the government. Is that bad? Then we need to look at this logically and how to fix it. The FBI did not allow a fraud case to be set up for Agent John to steal for his prostitute. There's not a prostitute clause. What they allowed was a threat and attempt to lie case for an FBI informant with threats and attempts on a life, with statements and a court order, okay, with money and immunity. Where Walter said they can get it thrown out for him defrauding me, they have to pay you. Absolutely. Where they're saying it's a big loophole, it is. I googled what else could get it thrown out if I was mistreated. So if they do like a willing worker statement, like I was willing to stay up there while they surveillance me to get these people threatening my life and harming me and others, knowing I was risking my life and personal harm and injury, but still willing to stay while they got surveillance, knowing the FBI would be the ones paying me and compensating me. And that other agent was only bullying me because of the First Amendment freedom of speech. But the agency alone would be taking care of it. They pay me, compensate me, I sign that. Takes it out of abuse to a willing worker. And the deal's with them, not him. And a First Amendment, what is a jail sentence for an FBI agent if he tells an informant they can't say anything or they won't get their money? 20 years. It's blackmail, like the sheriff said they already know it's blackmail. I couldn't say it. It's aiding and abetting crimes, obstruction, justice, extortion of the government, and a crime against the U.S. government. What's the jail sentence for a judge signing it? 20 to life. What's the jail sentence for an FBI agent if he says the informant can't say anything or they won't have protection? It's attempted murder. Aiding and abetting crimes, obstruction, justice, and tampering with a witness. It's 20 to 30 years. Insane for a judge if they would sign it. It says under the color of the law, no one can take your rights away. A judge can only put a gag order on you during a jury trial, and that's it. And only during the proceedings. So, I'm going to upload this.